Greetings, true collectors. I am back. It took a while, but here it is, the second episode of Kifors Toy Reviews. I am your host Darth Kifors. This time I am turning to the dark side of the Force, and I will review the shuttle flying, Force lightning throwing, Jedi killin', son of a gun, Dark Lord of Sith himself, Emperor Palpatine by Sideshow Collectibles. In the first part of this special two-part review, I will review the figure, and in part 2 I will concentrate on the Imperial Throne accessory. Star Wars has always been an important movie to me. I have been a Star Wars fan ever since I saw A New Hope for the first time on TV, when I was 6 or 7 years old. One of the best movie experiences I had as a child was seeing The Empire Strikes Back for the first time.
I am your father.
Star Wars has been a big part of my life. It has followed me through life, in celebrating the good times, and helping to get through the bad times. One of my favorite characters in Star Wars universe has always been Emperor Palpatine, or Palpy between friends. He was one of the characters that intrigued me as a kid. Even though he was in Empire Strikes Back only in a short glimpse,
he could destroy us. The Force is strong with him. The son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi.
Character left an impression on me. He had that mystery around him. I wanted to know who he was, and where he was from. I was so interested in him, that next time I was in town after I saw Empire, I bought his action figure. It was actually my first Star Wars related item I got. It is still an important item to me. It was the starting point of my Star Wars collecting. The figure has an honorary place in my collection shelf. Okay, let's get the ball rolling and start the review. Just like all the Sideshow figures, it comes in a very nice black box with Star Wars logo in the front. In the front of the box there's also a nice picture showcasing the figure within. In the lower right corner you can see the Sideshow Collectibles logo. Above the image there's a Lords of Sith logo, as this figure is part of that line. In the backside, it just has the same image like in the front. There's some photos of the other Sideshow figures that are also available. You also have photographs of the famous scenes featuring the Emperor from the Return of the Jedi. Now let's go ahead and take a look of this figure outside of its packaging. Figure is in that 12-inch scale. It's pre-painted and comes out of the box already assembled, ready to display. Now let's check out the details. Just like Sideshow is known for, there's amazing amount of detail worked in on the sculpt. It's all very nicely done, a lot of great detail. Figure is all hand finished and painted with great quality and detail. The absolutely best part of this figure is the incredible head sculpt. It was what first caught my eye and why I had to buy this guy. Emperor had been long in my to-buy list, but I had not seen a face sculpt that I liked, until this one came out. It captures every detail of the character's face straight from the movies. You can see wrinkles in the face, skin folds under the eyes and the crevices in the forehead. It has that pale, yellowish skin just like in the film. I love the little details like the liver spots. Another thing I really like are the eyes. They look really cool and are incredibly lifelike. Around the eyes there's some red detailing that makes the eyes more prominent, you notice them far away. All the sculptors really did a magnificent job with capturing every detail of the character's face. Overall, it's a really great sculpt, very good likeness of the character. Hands are also sculpted really well and have some excellent hand-painted detail. You can see all the wrinkles and the veins. There's even little details like the black fingernails and the little freckles painted on the hands. A lot of great detail, really realistic looking. Hands really capture look and feel of real old man's hands. I am a big fan of figures that have clothes made of real fabric. It makes the figure feel more realistic, more alive. Figure has the trademark black, evil wizard robe he wears in the movie. It's made of very nice, quality fabric, and looks pretty natural on the figure. It has second layer, made of gray, more softer fabric. There's also a belt made of same material. The robe doesn't feel too stiff and it doesn't hinder the articulation of the figure at all. There isn't much details on it, just the buckle that keeps the robe in place. It's sewed on the robe and you can't open it, but it's a nice little detail. Also included in the package is a figure stand. You already know what to expect if you're familiar with the Sideshow figures. Stand is made of durable black plastic. There's a silver Star Wars logo nicely featured on it. It has a adjustable wire neck to not only accommodate different heights, but also fit snugly around the figure's waist. It feels a bit too flimsy for my taste. I would like it to be little more sturdier, but it does work pretty well. Now, let's take a look at the articulation on this figure. It's pretty much the same what you get with all the Sideshow figures. Let's start with the head. You can move it from left to right. It has really nice hinge joints so it can move up and down. You have a ball joint at the shoulder. It feels a little stiff, but it has good articulation. There's no extra joints or cuts at the bicep. Elbow has a great double joint with decent movement. There's a nice hinge joint at the wrist, plus a swivel in the wrist. You have a cut at the torso, that's also a rocker, so you can move it around, and there's some waist twist articulation, but it's really tight. There's a ball joint at the hips so you can move the legs forwards and backwards, but there isn't much outwards movement at all. No swivels at the bicut, but it has excellent double joints at the knees. You have a boot cut at the calf and the ankles have a swivel and a ball joint, but the boot basically prevents all of the up and down movement of the ankle. Figure has just the basic Sideshow body, but it's forgivable in this character's case. Body is mostly covered up, so there's no need for extra articulation. Emperor isn't that action-oriented character, you don't need him to make any high kick poses. Overall, figure has some decent articulation, and you will be able to get all the possible poses you could ever want out of it. Now that you have seen how poseable this figure is, let's take a look at all the accessories and the cool interchangeable pieces. He includes a set of 4 interchangeable hands, that will give you multiple display options, with 2 open hands, with closed hand that can hold the walking stick, with pointing index finger, and any combination of those hands. Adding even more display options is the Emperor's walking stick. I have a minor gripe with the stick. It looks a little too shiny and plastic looking. It doesn't fit with the overall look of this figure. It would be better if it was made to look more wood-like. Now, Let's check, is the Force strong in this one or has it turned to the dark side? The sculpt and look are pretty much perfect. Clothes are made of quality fabric and look nice on the figure. It has decent amount of accessories and the stand is pretty cool. It is one of the best versions of Emperor Palpatine in figure form I have ever seen. Unless you count those expensive Hot Toys figures. Figure does have some minor flaws. I would like the articulation to be little bit better, and the joints to be little looser, and they could have paid more attention to little details, but I would still consider them very minor gripes. Overall, I really do love this figure. I give him a final grade of 8 out of 10. If you can look past those little things, this will be a great addition to your collection. If you are a fan of Star Wars or the character itself, this is a must-buy. Emperor is an essential character in Star Wars universe who you have to have on your shelf. I highly recommend this figure to all collectors. It is an awesome figure, and you won't be disappointed. I paid €90 for it, about 118 bucks, but now your only chance to get it is on the aftermarket, which can get a bit pricey. There you have it. This has been a review of 1/6 scale Emperor Palpatine by Sideshow Collectibles. Join me next time in part 2, when I review the Imperial Throne accessory, also by Sideshow Collectibles. See you then, and remember, you are never too old to play with toys.